Welcome to Neo-Feudalism. We are living in a new age of feudalism. Some could argue this is just the next step along the path of neoliberalism. I would argue this is just what happens when you don't allow capitalism to function while not regulating massive companies properly. And a lot of the debate in the world seems to be about taxing the 1%. This is because clearly trillions have been extracted from the working and middle classes. And it seems to have ended up in the hands of what I would call the oligarch class. The problem is, they did this legally. It was no trick. Successive governments around the world allowed it. But now everyone who was involved in those governments are pretty much gone. Well, except Lord Mandelson, hanging around like a bad smell after an Epstein Island party. Ugh. But the general population has worked out that we're all poor because the wealth of the country has been extracted from the general populace and we're not getting it back. People like the Greens will sell you fantasies. And futility is the state that younger millennials and Gen Z find themselves in. The labour market for young people is a dumpster fire. Student loans are crippling. The housing market is now basically impossible to compete in unless you're backed by rich boomer parents. Which is then stopping people from having kids. Because if you can't afford them, you're setting yourself up for a miserable life. So instead of planning for the big events, people in their 20s and 30s are just shuffling around, waiting for the next big financial crash. And that next one seems to be just round the bend in the form of AI. I'm going to state this now loud and clear. AI is going to cause the next big financial disaster. Either the trillions that are being spent on data centers and large language models will render the human race irrelevant, or the tech companies will have borrowed money that they can never hope to pay back. And if it works, we will see a lost generation of workers, with no one being employed or trained because employers are banking on AI-powered robots taking over their jobs. It will take years for governments to work out how to tax AI companies properly, and by then, they will become the biggest oligarchs the world has ever seen. Either this all fails and our parents lose all their pensions and investments, or this all works and we never have the opportunity to create those investments or pensions ourselves. And so if you wonder why young people are angry about jobs, housing, or even their student loans, it's because at this very moment they're being asked to support a system that does not allow them to create wealth, while AI stands looming in the background, waiting to ensure their lives get even worse than they feel now. Welcome to Neo-Feudalism.